All right, this is May 18th, 2025. My Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. I'm trying to get my remote to see why I have a blurry screen here. Trying to get it focused if I can. There it is. So, this is my vlog on the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. I am posting vlog 104, and last vlog I was talking about different type of tactics and current events that were ongoing and still continue. The title of this is um, you know further tactics or additional tactics that have been used, and a lot has transpired since my arrest on February 19th. And these vehicles, for some reason, they are using some type of cyber stalking that is in sync with my physiology. So for some reason, um, it doesn't matter what I do or what I say, they continue to do this. This has been going on for years now. It started, like I said in the past videos, back in the early 2010, like the teens era. But covertly, I was picking up on some things, and they kind of trickled in, if you will. It's kind of like a chain reaction when you start thinking about odd and bizarre events that your family puts you through. They may, like, for example, accuse you of something that you didn't do, but it's odd and bizarre enough that it just doesn't even make sense. Things like food poisoning me every 2 years. It just seemed like every 2 years as a teenager, leading all the way up through college. I was the only one in the family who was food poisoned every 2 years. And it was always with the females, either my mother or my grandmother in the family. I had these strange dreams around the age of 4, all the way up to maybe, I don't know, I would say 15 or so, where I had my mother kind of using this proxemics, this route of walking, basically. And I would remember that she would just walk and stop like this, and like she would come out like in a straight line and walk and do this in the dream. Um, and so how this kind of translates into the rest of my vlog is I've had all of these things electronically going awry, and all of these people in my immediate social circle, as well as my professional circle, tell me that I have all of these things going on, and they're all, um, unprofessional, or they're all of this and they're all of that. And so I've been doing a lot of collecting of all of my data, basically, and somehow, in some way, there's a third party removing that information. Um, they're toying with my electronics in every capacity, every device that I own. They've toyed with, and they've harassed me, either removing the pictures, removing the videos, and it's every device. They like to get in my laptop specifically, and they'll lock the keyboards up. Um, and this started even when I had all of my updated anti-malware, anti-spyware, and all the cybersecurity things that I paid hundreds of dollars for going through college. They were hacking that, and what they do is they'll keystroke, and when I'm keystroking, they'll take control of the keyboard and they'll mess around with the keyboard. Um, so I guess going down a list of all the things that I have encountered regarding this stalking campaign, and this clandestine campaign that was festering, basically, as I was a young man. leading all the way up into my adulthood. I'm just going to go down what I've been enduring this past month, but also what I have neglected to also mention from the past. So, starting from the past, let's just jump to when it was aggressively overt, if you will, where literally thousands of people were making these gestures. Basically, they would either drive aggressively around you with coordinated colored vehicles like convoys of red, or patterns of vehicles, or frequency and timing is what they start with. And then what they'll do is they'll start acting like you in public places. Okay. And they'll have little objects around called ambient abuse by proxy. And they'll use the environment everywhere you step or everywhere you drive. They'll start putting things like trash in front of you. So whenever you drive in transit or you go to the workplace, there's always trash when you're walking down the hallway. There's always trash in the gym. And so they're insinuating that you're trash. And so what they'll do is also they'll take trash and start throwing it in your yard. And I've had to call the police about that as well. And so I have neighbors who are deliberately throwing trash in the yard. And it's not just on a random day. Typically, it'll be around days where I get things done, where I've accomplished something, whether I did well out there in recreation or my hobbies and I completed something that I was trying to get done. That's when they'll use the trash as an attack, a means of an attack. And so you'll go to the gym, and it's crazy because when I go to the gym and I wipe something off with a napkin, I don't have stuff all over the place. I don't have pieces and stuff all over the place. But for some reason, it doesn't matter when I go. They'll make sure to take the napkins and little pieces of it and leave them all over the place. Every time I wipe something, I always pull, spray, and wipe, and I'm never leaving anything behind. I go to the gym more than most people. And so I don't know how this is just, I guess, more of that evidence, if you will, like that I don't understand. They've been doing that still, and they're taking trash bags. And if I'm going somewhere, they'll lay the trash bags in the road. Anywhere in that transit to and from wherever you're going, they're going to put trash there. And if you look around elsewhere, there's no trash on the other side roads or anything. It's only trash in the roads that you're going to. Okay. So this is the type of campaign that I've had to deal with for years. People will use the gesture like spitting. And what they'll do is because they're using this technology to cyber stalk you, what they're doing is every time you're facing somewhere, like left, right, wherever it is, or say you're going to one spot in the grocery store to the next, or you're going from one spot in the gas station and you're turning this way, they know all the ways that you're turning, right? So they know when you do an activity, you're going to be maneuvering a certain way. And when you start maneuvering a certain way, they make sure that someone is there with some type of stimulus of abuse. Now, what that stimulus may be could just be the visual pollution. And the visual pollution tactics are going to range from always making sure that there is a person with a black shirt, okay, in your line of sight, always making sure there's a person with a blue shirt or blue apparel in your line of sight, always making sure that there's a specific vehicle in your line of sight, just like the white SUVs, just like the red vehicles, or whatever stimulus of abuse that they come up with. It could be white cars, which for some reason, when I went to the gym today, it was all about white cars. So the list goes on. And the other thing about the vehicles that I've noticed is they'll take the license plates and make sure that they drive in front of you with the term on the license plate, so they could use semantics about things that are pertinent to your life. So they'll drive around deliberately tracking you, and they'll have the license plate have something pertinent to your life. For example, if you get slandered in the workplace, they'll have multiple vehicles on the way the day that you leave or you're separated from the company. They'll have multiple vehicles drive in front of you on the way to the house with HA on it. Okay. Or they'll have something like you and then SX, like you suck, right? Or you sucks. So they'll start making all of these little innuendos and everything and all of these semantics using their license plate, right? And they'll have you just stalked everywhere you go. Okay, so license plate is one. Obviously, the vehicles in many forms, shapes, and capacities is one. And then they use complete strangers to basically ambush you. And the thing about the with the people is they'll take, for example, like have everyone in your visual field wear black sunglasses. So everyone in in your visual field is wearing black sunglasses. And what they're doing is they're taking the atmosphere, which is what you've known to be since you were 18 years old, or when it first started. I guess it'd be around 23 or something, or 24. But long story short, for 24 plus years, maybe you could subtract 3 or 4 years because you don't really remember, years 1 through 4. But long story short, those 20 years or so, you understand what normalcy is. You understand balance. You understand probability, statistics. You're not stupid. You've been schooling all your life. And what they're doing is they're taking anything and everything possible, from shirts, from any object you can imagine, and they're going to inundate your visual field with anything and everything that will annoy you or disturb you or distress you. So when it started back in the 2010s, those teen years, it was literally hundreds of people walking around following you with sunglasses. So if you went in somewhere to any public building or any space, there was always people with black sunglasses. Like that was their thing, people with black sunglasses. And that has ceased to kind of slow down. And the severity of the program, when it was ramped up to its highest level, there was an overlooking person or a body of people looking over all of my electronics, making sure that all of my electronics were not documenting, and making sure that none of the pictures or videos were archived. So none of it was archived. They make sure to go through. And as I'm collecting this information and taking pictures, you have detectives and you have police that are saying it's not real, but at the same time, they're abusing you by allowing it to happen. And when it happens, they start talking to you in this normal tone. They act like it's not going on. You've got it going on while you're talking to the police. You've got it going on while you're talking to family or you're talking to friends. And at the same time, you have everybody leaving you. So they're saying it's normal, but then no one wants to hang out. No one wants to participate in friendship. No one wants to do anything that they used to do. And all of a sudden, you're isolated, okay? And you have this objective evidence that's being destroyed at all times, every day. All of the evidence, all the stuff is being removed, okay? And then people act different. You haven't changed. You're just saying you don't understand why the hell this is going on. And at the same time, they're continuing to do it and basically controlling your mental faculties and writing you off on paper while they're literally violating the Constitution and violating all of these state, federal laws, okay, in order to accomplish their plan. And long story short, this month will be the last month that I do anything on the front line, thank God, in EMS or with nursing, because I just feel like I'm a plan for these people. I'm a plan to family. I'm a plan to the police. And I'm a plan and I'm a project. I'm not a human being. And I'm not going to keep showing up doing what I've been doing, practicing and going hard diligently in my studies, and then showing up trying to be my best just to be ridiculed, humiliated, stalked, and then antagonized. Nothing but provocation, nothing but smearing, nothing but McCarthy tactics, whatever it takes these people to accomplish on paper, they're willing to do it. So the thing too is not only is it about the professional side, but it's about the personal side and letting me know through a messenger, like basically my life is like a Stormy Daniels, like a Martin Luther King who got a letter pushed by the FBI to him, like this is Dave Chappelle, like, this is, I could tell you this is what's going on, and then I'm going to retract it and act like I'm not going to say it. That's the life that I live. And then when I'm questioning or challenging people about it, they want to act like nothing's going on. So that's basically how the campaign works. And the campaign is we could do whatever we want to do, we can get away with it, and there's nothing that you can do. Okay. And so the way it also works is they continue even when I said stop touching me, right? So when I said stop touching me, and I'm having this confrontation with the police, and I also go and tell them about the permissive neglect that's continually going on. I tell them about the coercive control. These police officers in this county, ranging from the municipal, from the city, even to the county sheriff's department, they all play into it, including the dispatchers. Okay. And so what they'll do is they'll have these literally hundreds of people following you around with this technology. And then when you call 911, you have a dispatcher acting like they don't know where you're at. They literally act like that. And it's this narcissistic campaign. Okay. People want to act like they don't know what's going on with you, but then you're being tracked every time you go outside. Every time you go outside, a car is passing. Every time you go outside, it's a white SUV. Every time you go outside, it's, a white truck. And all of this video that I've taken, every time you're going somewhere, they're running these patterns on you, and they're always in sync with where you're going 24/7, 365. And it's a bunch of strangers, and it's a bunch of family who's groomed you, okay, into what they want to get from you. And that's how this works. That's how the campaign works, is you're feathered, okay, using crowd influence, you're feathered into problems, okay? You're feathered into social problems, and you're feathered into issues. And if the feathering doesn't work, then it's just whatever we say goes. And that's what it's been for the past 10 years. But before that, it was always about feathering you by keeping you around certain things and certain people at all times and feathering you into issues. Okay. And they're targeting your romantic life. All of a sudden, I have hundreds of people. I have hundreds of women, in all of my dating sites, right? And the dialogue isn't the same, right? The dialogue is completely different. Everybody has changed. You haven't. And then when you go to confront them about it, they act like nothing's going on, right? So that's where we're at. Other tactics that were used that I haven't even really touched on were tactics that my father used when I was a young boy / teenager. Kind of the inception of the program was meant, and the duration of it was meant and planned way back then. All the little nicknames that my father used to say to me. And then what they'll do is, for example, they'll have networks of people who are just connecting together. And when you're connected with them, they're going to then use that to abuse you in the future. Let me take, for example, not just the street signs, right? So what they'll do is they'll take someone that you might have interest in, and I'll go back to my father's deal, but someone you have an interest in, let's just say it's just someone that you're trying to date, and you're living in a city. These women will explicitly come and contact you, okay? And they're contacting you because they know that you're making transits to a specific area or a specific place in the city, okay? So if your passions and your interests are to go to this specific lake, your passions or your interests or your routine is to go this specific road to the gym or this specific road to the grocery store, they'll make sure that the woman who is contacting you, her last name or some name, okay, associated with her, that you'll later find out either early or later, will be associated with all of the roads that go to the same places that you go to. Okay. So when I was dating, for example, a female named Jamie Whitehead, and she had a dog named Fenton, and she would joke around with the dog's name like Finley, Fenton. One of my exits, one of the very first exits is Finley, right? Or what they'll do is they'll have is the same thing in Virginia Beach. Okay, these women will come in and their last names will be the exact road that you go to the gym. Every gym session you go to, you're using this particular gym because it's convenient, and they're trying to saturate that area with nothing but disdain, irritation, and provocation. Okay, so it's the same thing with the arrests on the 19th. I've had nothing but issues at that gym. And not only that, but I have issues at other places, but they have this affinity towards that particular place and that particular plaza because it's a straight shot and it's an area of convenience. And this is a tactic that they use all the time is they'll target your interest, they'll target your passions, they'll target your routine, basically. They're targeting your routine. Okay. So not only did I have people running carts into me multiple times around that plaza when I'm shopping or touching me, okay, or having to call the police multiple times before my arrest. And even the day of my arrest, okay, before the police were called, I had some guy in the gym come driving around and then roll his window down to laugh at me, okay, to laugh at me and then continue driving before the police arrive. Okay. So this morning, it's been a long time since I've been to that gym, but this morning I went to that gym and I went through the men's locker room and I'm going through, as I go through and I look directly in front of me, someone took two paper tissues, brown tissues, right? Hand towels, crumbled them up and left them on the bench. So when you turn the corner, it's directly in your line of sight. And because I have two charges, all of my communications have been nothing but semantics. My emails, okay, people liking my post. They want to make comments about a couple places here, 2 places there. Your notifications have 2 notifications today, right? 2 emails today. And then because I have a total of 3 misdemeanors, 3 is another one too. 3 is another big one that they like to use. Okay, so it's 3 notifications, just like the whole HIPAA deal when I talked about the place that I work with asking me to push PHI through their non-secure email, go to their secure email. Well, I didn't tell you this, but I ended up calling her and I said to her, look, I have this going on. It's on HIPAA's 18 list, yada, yada. I need to make sure that I can just maybe type the information to you in a portal, but I don't have any way to attach it or get it to you. Okay. So she's still trying to get me to send it to her. It doesn't click for some reason. And they asked me 3 times total. Okay. They want to make sure that they asked me 3 times. So now what they're doing is they're taking and making problems. And then what they're doing is they're talking about it or using gestures about it or using innuendo about it or using semantics about it. And so their purpose is to drive you into problems And then what they do on the back end is abuse you over the problems. Okay. And it's the same thing with women, is you're getting abuse from your mother, you're getting abuse from your other people in your family, and then with food poisoning, and then all of this other crazy stuff that goes on with relationships in college, and you're just saturated with idolizing women as problems. Okay. And this is what trickles down. And they continue to abuse you and harass you. And they continue to, say you're doing something that you're not, right? Whether it be you're cheating and you're not, whether it be transmitting something to you, right? And you gave her a chance and she's going to give you a hard time still, or it's going to be she's disrespecting you by doing something she's not supposed to do. And it's just nonstop. What they want to control your ability to even have a relationship. They want you isolated so that you can be by yourself. That way they can have further control of you. Now we don't have to worry about kids. Now we don't have to worry about all of that stuff. Now we have them isolated, and now we can just do whatever we want to do and abuse them and get them to job hop and do with all of this stuff, right? Okay. And so it's beyond the professional piece. It's all the way down into the personal piece, where your parents are pushing you money, and your parents are deliberately using patterns of money, surveying your money when they shouldn't be by law. Okay. And then they're using money as financial domestic abuse. Okay. They're making sure to take advantage of you if you have ADHD and anxiety growing up as a kid, and you address it with them. No, you don't. They just blow it off, right? You go to fix yourself, all of a sudden things are fine, but all of a sudden you feel great. And then when you start working, everybody around you starts smearing you and using McCarthy tactics. Nothing has changed. You go talk to the police and you start writing notes about all the events, and all of those events, as you're working up a lawsuit, get erased. They're making sure to erase it. Every time you're consolidating the information, there's a party behind closed doors erasing everything. As you move forward, they're erasing everything. So I get all of these injuries, right? From they start getting you to work overtime, late into the night shifts, whatever they could do, right? And pretty soon you start tearing things up. Okay. Start tearing these things up. But it's not just that, it's the fact that when you tear things up, not only that, but they're using an electronic system around you at all times to survey you, to archive everything you do. And the day I tore my Achilles back in 19, I came home and they flicked the lights off when I came home, right? Off the field. I'm in doing a room share with some guy that looks like my grandfather, and he ends up marrying some gal that's similar to my grandmother. And they're playing this stalking game with my surroundings at all times. People like my tenants were looking like my brother, or you have semantics where they document everything that happens to you, and then they'll be spiteful and throw it in your face later. Okay. And they'll be spiteful and throw it in your face later. For example, when I did a contract over in Texas, a bunch of people got in trouble illegally with the law. They did a sting. And they took a prosecution, and when they took that late in the year, I think it was September, the state had pushed a bill in October, so when they were sentenced, it went up to another degree in severity, and I think it turned into either a higher misdemeanor or a felony back in Tennessee. Now Alabama's pushing for a bill that's going to come out in October And that's when my next hearing is. So by the time anything happens, it's possible that I would get a higher misdemeanor. Okay. And so they start playing these little games and toying with everything that you do. All of your surroundings are toyed with. Um, Everything's disheveled or moved around. When you go to the gym, they know that you like to be organized and professional. So they're taking the dumbbells and they'll swap the dumbbells. So the 35s and the 40s are close, but they swapped them over. So when you grab them, you're grabbing a 40 and you're grabbing a 35 instead of two pairs of 35s or two pairs of 40s, right? And then when you go to different machines, they already pattern everything that you do. And like I said, the more structured you are, the easier it is for them in a public setting to abuse you. So they'll take towels or napkins and little toilet paper and start throwing it around either the little pin that you adjust for the weights, or they'll keep it right here when you arrive to the machine on the little dash on the machine, right? That holds either drinks, bones, or what have you. And it'll only be on the ones that you go to. It's just like when you go to the ellipticals, right? You got a whole line of ellipticals, right? But the one you choose to stand on, they made sure to leave a piece of trash there, a crumpled up paper towel or whatever it may be. You look down the line and it's nowhere else. It's nowhere else, not down any other ones. You're looking at all the little cup holders. There ain't nothing going on there. But the one you go to is always the one with the issue. And so they have the public setting and so they have it dialed in with this technology. Who you like and your likes, okay, whether it be female relationships. And what they're doing also, another tactic is as you're making transitions mentally and you're navigating all this abuse, as you start thinking to yourself what you like and what you don't like, what you need mentally for relief or for I don't want to say even relaxation, I guess, or what you need for I guess balance, if you will. These women, they'll make sure to post things on their narrative, like their bio, that fits you. And what you realize is that you're getting attention from some of your thoughts that are being put in their bio, right? And this could definitely be, fake profiles. They could just be pushing these. I don't really care. I don't really know, but I'm just stating facts, okay? And so what happens is as you start to go through this process throughout your 20s and 30s, okay, these bios and these narratives that are being sent to you under these females, when they get pushed to you or they match you or they get a hold of you, it's all about the way you think. Oh, yeah, I like the outdoors. And it's just like always reflecting what you like and you think it'd be a great match, but then they always ignore you and then they always ghost you. And it's a way of always abusing you. But back in my teenage years, back in my early 20s, it was all about no issues having relationships. All of a sudden, it's an issue. Literally like black and white. Okay? And all of them are always doing the same thing. They're always coming out of a relationship, right? And so there's a narrative that they're building is we only want to talk to you when we're around, coming around the end of our relationships. We only want to use you for a rebound. Okay? We only want to go out to dinner because we only want to use you for your money. And it's this perpetual narrative that they continue to run. Every single female is a perpetual narrative. It's either I want to get your attention up here where I know that you fish or you travel. I want to get your attention right now, right here, because I know you have an event coming up. I want to get your attention right here, right now, because you succeeded at something. You accomplished something, you achieved something. I want your attention, and then I'm going to ignore you, and then I'm going to ghost you. I want your attention right here, right now, and I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match what your thoughts are. I want you to go forward. That's why I'm here. So I'm going to match with you. I'm going to give you attention so I can get you to get this job where I know they're going to fire you, where I know that they're going to harass you and use this McCarthy smearing once you get in there. I need you to go forward. So all of a sudden, we're going to have multiple women inundate your matches, come in and try to talk to you. And then we're going to ghost you once we get what we want from you. That's exactly how it's been going for the past 12 years. Okay. That's exactly to the T. This is how these women are predating on you. And they're probably doing the same to other people. I don't know. But if they're doing it to somebody like myself, they're likely doing it to somebody else. Okay. So just know that that's what's going on, is they're trying to always use this romance as a means of abuse. My neighbor, she has a forward trash can and a back trash can. When I'm accomplishing things inside my house, she'll make sure to snatch the trash can out of her back patio and make sure to roll it whenever I'm accomplishing something, either in the house through studying, getting certifications, building something, scheming something. If I'm accomplishing something, if I'm doing something that I want to do, okay, there's going to be some type of noise pollution as a consequence of, and it's operant conditioning, right? It's operant conditioning is what this is. Okay. Oh, you did this. Now this is the consequence. Oh, you did that. This is the consequence. Okay. Oh, you're living your life. Oh, you went grocery shopping. That's a consequence, right? Oh, you went to the gym. Oh, consequences. We're going to be stalking you. We're putting trash in your yard when you get back. Oh, you went and did an hour of cardio, an hour and a half of cardio. Okay, we're going to put trash in your yard. We're going to let the dog shit in your yard when you walk outside. Okay, this is the life that I live. Okay, and this is the life that I want to make sure is documented. And when I go to this court, they think that I have to defend myself, and they're trying to make everything about them. And they still haven't given me opportunity to address what I need to address. And so they think that now I have to address their concerns and address a conspiracy concern. So I need two different lawyers, right? All this money, right, to go around. Well, the whole time they want to make sure that I'm oppressed the entire time. Right. And all of these things that you're accused of in the past, this was crowd influence, right, that drove you to there. Intercepting you at the bars, right? Have your friends lead you out into the bar, and then you just get intercepted by a female, literally, just so that she could be there to antagonize and abuse you and stress you out and literally eat at your life. Okay, eat at your life. So the unfortunate thing about this is that I can't just go out. Even when I went to Lyft today, they're using the whole black shirt thing, and it's just nonstop. I mean, the thing about these events that I even put on my last vlogs is it's not just about the events. For example, like it's not about just like the PHI and the HIPAA. It's not about just like the officer and the conversation. It's not about just like the white SUV, one white SUV, or any like every other day. This isn't an every other day thing. This is not an every other day thing. And when things are going on at work, okay, it's that plus all of the accumulated days, weeks, months, and years, okay, of every single day you're being stalked. Every day they have vehicles that are perpetually buzzing around you using visual pollution. Every shift, doesn't matter if you're going to a nursing job, and if you're going to a nursing job and you're around a window, or you're going to a gym and you're around a window, they'll have the vehicles come by as you come by. So if you're driving, if you're walking by the window, they will make sure to time that a vehicle is going by the window. There's no relief from this. So if I have to think critically about what I'm doing administratively, and I just came back from a lunch break, I literally went outside. That means that I have to endure these vehicles humming and buzzing around you visually and being on your accord every single time you walk outside or go near any ambient window, anywhere you could see outside. So when I drove, for example, the client to the ER, okay, I have to endure all of the visual pollution on the way there. And when I'm sitting in the bay, you have a giant window in front of you, and you're dealing with this police officer who's abusing you. And then you have all of these people intersecting like this in front of you, driving and using different color coordinated shirts, right? All on your accord, keeping the same pattern. So in the beginning of the day, they might have red shirts, and they're going to keep red shirts in front of you. Everywhere you go, there's going to be red shirt or red shoes or red car, and it's just going to be in front of you everywhere you go. You look down the hallway, someone's crossed like this with a red shirt. You look down this way, someone's walking towards you with a red shirt. You look outside, you got two people, one wearing red shorts, one with a red umbrella, crossing in front of you. It's just nonstop visual pollution. And then you're tasked, okay, to perform administratively, where anything could go wrong, right? You could be worked up over it. You could be thinking about the abuse, right? You're just intolerant of it. And it's just nonstop irritation, okay? And it's the same thing with all of these other jobs. Like when I went to Garda World, I worked multiple contracts, but even over there, it was they used libel to make sure that I was removed. And when I went to report things like bloodborne pathogens, or when I went to go make sure that we were doing our recycling right, or when I went to make sure that we were being cognizant around the cafeteria and COVID to move things structurally, doing all of these right things, doing it in the right way, and you have people who are there to say that you're unprofessional. You don't even know these people. They're just coming out of the woodwork just to say whatever they want to say, and then you just don't feel like resigning because you've got to deal with people like that, where you're going back and forth with people that you don't know, they know you, and they're just there to get you out, basically. Even using inappropriate wipes when we have a bunch of fungal infections at the time. We're cleaning things that are not with the appropriate antifungal. There is no antifungal properties, and we've got, what is that? Tinea pedis going all over the place. I mean, there's just so many things that I could talk about, and the amount of wrongs that it accumulates to is just astronomical. Okay, it's just astronomical. The other thing is, since my arrest, it's spurred this whole Raynaud's syndrome, and so I had to get on an SSRI. And here's a problem with this: is when you get on these medications, they're anticholinergics. Anticholinergic medications, okay, are bad for you. Okay, they have a lot of properties that lead to cortical remodeling, shrinkage of your hippocampus, okay? And this is why a lot of people get bad side effects. You start on those upper doses. Upper doses are more receptors being activated, and this leads to more side effects. And the problem is I thought that, a low dose was going to, with the serotonin, was going to help me with my Raynaud's, as evidence-based medicine shows, with the peripheral arterial vasospasm. And unfortunately, I had to rely on amlodipine. And so I have to take antihypertensive medication and an SSRI just to manage the problems. And the thing about it is I shouldn't have to, right? But this is a lifelong peripheral arterial disease because the police and the justice system wants to play games. And then you have all of these people, okay, from utility businesses, from mailing businesses, from waterworks businesses, police, educators and institutions, all of these people, gym, grocery store, recreational stores, all have some type of stimulus of abuse everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And then you have some third party sitting behind a fucking computer, erasing everything that I have on my notes. Okay? Imagine you're being touched when you don't want to be touched. I have video. I'm going to take some of my private videos and then re-upload them. Not re-upload, but put them public. So we're going to go private to public. But I have to go through this mess, basically, right? And I have to alter my life because of all of this illegal crap that's going on. Right? I have to alter my life because of people's problems, because of people's plans. Okay? And everybody has the answers. And because I'm a project and I'm a plan to people. Okay? And this has been going on for years. And they don't want you to grow. They don't want you to grow out. They have a plan for you. And that's a shitty plan, by the way. It's nothing significant. It's nothing satisfactory in your eyes. It's just abuse. And it's just taking years off of your life and then destroying your body along the way. Right? So back to some more tactics. Tactics that were festering back when I was a kid, part of the grooming process, right? My father would always call me certain names like Bud, okay? Or he would call me high speed, low drag, okay? And the whole time they know I have ADHD, right? They know, okay? My teachers know, everybody fucking knows, okay? They're not willing to address it. Instead, they're willing to play off of it, get you into this submissive state where they don't want you to have responsibilities and they just play off of it and just make sure and try to tell you and get you to appreciate that you're a fuck up, right? Or you can't do anything. And they're always impatient with you. Oh, no, you can't do this. Oh, no, I don't want to show you. No, right? And so they're grooming you into it, right? They're grooming you into it, okay? So then you have these people. They're playing off all the terms and all the phrases, literally archiving every little thing, okay, that went on in your childhood and keeping it safeguarded so that they could use this shit later. So I have people in my life that start coming in, right? And my father and my family would hang out only with certain people, right? And so what you have is you have people that were family acquaintances that I recall events that were happening back when I was a boy. And what they'll do is they'll take strangers and people and they'll bring them in to try to communicate with you just so that it could be a mental linkage. Okay, there's this guy, his name's Quinn. He looks just like the guy that my father used to hang out with when I was growing up as a boy. From a little boy all the way through teenage years, my parents had a family friend that they shared some time with in the military. And this guy tries to be acquainted, and this guy passes away. My father's friend passes away. But later in life, as I grow up, I moved to Virginia, and all of a sudden I'm acquainted with this guy who reminds me of someone who my father was hanging out with, right? And this guy, he tries to hang out, communicate with me, not necessarily hang out all the time, but he was always communicating with me, always trying to keep up with me. And that's how this works, is you have these people that you're networked with who reflect your past. When I was going through this initial inception back in 2014 of this program, where I have hundreds of thousands of people following me around, I was talking to my mom on the phone, and my mom starts antagonizing me and accusing me of things uncharacteristic of me, saying that I'm getting drugs. And this is in the middle of physician assistant school, saying that I'm getting drugs from the street, accusing me of this, telling me in this cynical fashion, history has a way of catching up to you, huh? She's never talked to me like this before, ever. But the second the inception of this program happened, all of a sudden, she's talking to me like she's never talked to me like this before. Okay? I have my grandparents accusing me of things that I haven't done, right? And then abusing me, doing things like locking me out, okay? Thinking that they have to lock their door. All of these things, right, that were happening before the inception of this program, okay? So what they do now is, this goes back to the white SUV deal. This is my mom. For some reason, I'm the only one in the family getting food poisoning every 2 years, right? I'm hospitalized at one point. And my mom always drove a white SUV. So what do they have? What do they have around? White SUV. What do they have follow me around? White SUVs. So they know your traumas. They know your associations. So what do? They take your fucking traumas and they abuse you with them. That's how shitty society is. And the thing about this is this is going on, right, after I've been followed, smeared, stalked, abused, right, out of school, okay, where I took out $35,000, right? Then they want to write you away completely using political abuse by psychiatry, okay? The entire time since right now, today, these fuckers are still in my laptop, just like they were in my laptop in high school, in late high school. They're still in my fucking laptop, in my fucking email, okay? When I'm trying to work on my laptop, these people who are literally sitting behind a desk watching everything that I do are watching me keystroke and doing things like freezing up the screen so that the whole screen turns blue, locking up the keyboard, locking up the caps lock, doing all of these things, okay? Always trying to punk me. I just left my nursing position. The amount of relief, the fact that I don't have to go back and listen to the noise pollution and the mockery and the constant reflecting and mirroring, okay? So if I had a problem at one of the grocery stores because they're freezing my cards, I don't have to go to my nursing job and listen to one of those patients' family members talk about how their car got frozen today. Oh, I've had this history of talking about this French drain and draining the yard. Last shift or 2 shifts ago, all of a sudden she wants to talk about a French drain. It's whatever I'm doing, they're doing, right? It's however we can constrict you and walk you down and walk you backwards and squeeze you mentally, right? And depress you. We're going to do it no matter what, whatever it takes. Okay? Every little thing that I'm doing, if I have dry eyes, they're going to make sure that one day I come to shift after I had an episode of dry eye, they're going to make sure that they, out of the 3 weeks I'm there, they're going to make sure that they apply their dry eye ointment or lubricant when I get there. Oh, you got a cough? Okay. Well, we got a new client for you, a new nursing client, new patient. You get there. Oh, hey, honey, I got a cough. Okay. When I tore my Achilles tendon, I went back to American Medical Response. Those fuckers were kicking my right shoe. I don't have to see anybody lifting and doing fucking knee flexion, kicking their little hamstring curls up anymore. No one can touch my fucking leg anymore and abuse me over my Achilles tendon anymore. Thank God. I don't have to deal with it. Just like when I went to the gym, when they touch you or they run a machine by you, a little rolly bench, the only place they touch you is your right Achilles. Oh, so we tore that. We worked on that. And then we're going to abuse you over it. It's the same thing that they were doing when I was a kid. And it's just like the movie Knives Out. Just like the movie Knives Out. And who better else to do it? Who better else to know you? Your fucking family. And you're told that they knew that you would do things. They conspired. They target people, men in the family. This, that, and another thing. And this keeps going on and on. This asshole wants to retract anything that he's ever said. Okay. So, other tactics. Two days ago, no, a little bit longer, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I have to look at my journal. It had to be the last day I worked. Let me see here. The last day I did a nursing position. I want to say 13th, 15th, let's see, 16th, somewhere around the 16th, something like that. No, anyway, somewhere in the middle. Maybe the 10th, the 11th. I'll have to find it. Navy Federal Credit Union still hasn't gotten back to me as to how I have surveillance going on with my financial accounts and how that information is being given to family members who have no authority to be in and around those financial accounts. Okay. They said that there was some fraud going on. Okay. So when they got a hold of me, they made sure to do it 3 times, right? So they're playing this whole game now of, oh, he's got 3 misdemeanors. So the whole campaign now is on 3, okay? Open up your Facebook, people holding up this type of gesture, right, on the reels. And they're just polluting all of your social feeds with 3. Or all the women now would be throwing up this, deuce. Right, so everything is connected, and they just make sure to connect everything. Long story short, they try to get a hold of me 3 times, okay, which before they've never done, and I have history of that on my logs. When they said I had fraud before, they never try to get a hold of me 3 times. But because I have 3 misdemeanors, guess what? They want to get a hold of me 3 times. So what this does is it freezes the card, okay, freezes the card. A couple days later, I wanted to go get gas. Go to my local gas station. Guess who's there? The city police. And guess how many of them are there? 3. So I get over to the diesel pump, and I kind of knew that it was a possibility that would be froze, but I tried it anyways. Put it in there. It says see cashier. Doesn't usually do that. It said decline, see cashier. 3 seconds goes by, and one of these officers is standing in the front door, like right to the right of the front door. And he's a taller officer. And what's interesting is now all of a sudden they've switched over the type of officer. They switched the officers over to bigger officers and larger officers. Before it was smaller officers, shorter officers, and what they're doing is they're working to get you to react.
to react to that. Just like the calls that I've made in the past, and I've already described to them in the past, where they'll take women and they'll inundate you with a bunch of women, a bunch of attention. And then women, what they'll do is they'll look at your crotch. They'll look at your crotch. I'm going to say that again. They'll look at your crotch and they'll start eyeing you. And then what they'll do is they'll have another guy try to intimidate you or punk you. And I already called the police and told them, this is the scenario. Here's what's going on. Guess what? That report, guess what? Not on their records. But it's on my records. And it's on my case. I got a case number for it. And I have the audio and video for it. But guess what? They don't. Why would that be? That's just one of dozens of the things that I'm talking about. So I'm at the gas station. This officer, because they're switching up the type of people that you're around. When they want to make sure that you're submissive, or they're trying to get you and influence you to be inferior, they're going to start surrounding you with guys that are taller than you, wider than you, fatter than you, and your Facebook feeds, your YouTubes, all of that stuff will be starting to push. Is your dick big enough? How big is your dick? Asking women, how big do you like it? It's whatever they can to mentally orchestrate the configuration of your mental state, right? Your faculties. It's an organism. Put it to you that way. It's a fucking organism is what you're dealing with. 3 seconds goes by. The officer, he's got his cuffs up like Marine Army style. Okay. Black dude, about 6'1". And he starts laughing. 3 seconds after it says decline, go see the clerk or go see the cashier. And he's laughing, chuckling out loud. Does it sound familiar? I don't know. Maybe when I talked about my arraignment. Does it sound familiar? Okay. It's the same thing. Okay. You go somewhere in the mall, you go somewhere out in the store, like groceries or maybe recreational somewhere, and you like stub your toe, or you just kind of hiccup a little bit and skip with one of your legs. You'll hear someone in the distance. Or you'll see everybody in front of you smiling. Okay, it's an organism. They don't give a fuck about you. This is an organism that you're dealing with. Okay, a sophisticated technologic organism. Literally. Okay. So he laughs, this officer. And then he ends up, they all stay there. And I knew what they were trying to do was they were trying to get me to go in. And I had already contemplated about how much time I had left. And if I was going to go juggle all of that, then I would have been late for work. And I said, screw it. We're just going to go straight to work. Okay. So the same thing with these officers. When I was arrested, I went to work 2 or 3 days later, and they made sure to have the white SUVs and the officers drive behind me and intercept me all down Grove Boulevard. Okay. The whole boulevard had them waiting for me. And when I come over and start driving down the hill, this officer comes behind me. I decided I'm not going to deal with their harassment. I go into the median with my turn signal, and I go into a parking lot and just stage, just so I can get this asshole the fuck away from me. And he decides that he's also going to go into the median, stop behind me, put his lights on, and then take his lights off, and then drive, and then go and park directly in the next lot over a wooded lot into a gas station parking lot, and just walk out as I see him, thinking that I'm going to stop and have a conversation with him. And he wants confrontation. Just like the police officers in the courtroom. The same thing. The same thing. So 2 days ago, and the other thing is the whole cyber stalking piece. The cyber stalking piece, so they have my phone number and they'll disseminate my phone number everywhere, all over the United States. My phone number, everybody has my phone number. Even if when I change it, I can go back to my records on my service provider. I'd probably change it like more than 5 times. Okay. So on the 15th, around 7:58 on record here, I get this call from area code 833-441-5522. Someone used my number, okay, to set up an appointment at a children's hospital. Okay, and it goes beyond that. So not only that, but they sent the appointment up for 2:00. Go figure, right? Because I got 2 misdemeanors. 2:00 on the 16th, Friday, May 16th, is when I got this appointment reminder. Some hospital out there in Texas for some kid appointment. Okay, so they want to use semantics with the number 2, which has been an ongoing semantic, and they want to use the number 6, which is ongoing. And they want to use 6 because 6 is the day of my birthday, right? So they wait, according to this guy who sent me this message and told me and hypnotized me, basically. They're going to use 6 because 6 is the day I was born, right? The 6th of the month. So 6 is this revolving problem that I'm dealing with. 6. And she scheduled her at 2 p.m. Just like the 2 misdemeanors that I just picked up on February 19th. I called this lady, this scheduler, and she goes, "Oh, are you going to have any kids?" That's what she asked me. Okay. So not only do you have to deal with walking outside and then dealing with these people around, okay, driving on your accord and stalking you, and now it's the white cars for some reason. I went to the gym this morning, and it's just however we can get a white car driving in front all the way to, even on the interstate, it's like they're merging in, and this car wants to go 3 lanes in from lane 321 all the way over to lane 1 where I'm at, and literally make sure to pull in front of me doing like 45 when the speed limit's 60 to make sure that I have to slow down. And then they'll have the white cars driving in front of you in the city and everything. Okay. So now they're on this white car game. Whatever. I don't know. But it's just whatever it takes. Okay. It's whatever it takes. Gosh, I mean, I could just go over so many things that I could spend days talking about it. But honestly, I'm just one to reflect that I'm thankful that I don't have to go back over my nursing, because the nursing is a problem. It relieves a lot of stress. And being in EMS all these years has taken a toll on me when it really shouldn't have. And I just feel like I can't work without being pestered, right? And then at the same time it's just war and terrorism. And if you're going to be terrorized at work, why would you even go to work, right? I've even got pictures, and I took pictures of things at work, even at regional paramedics and Shoals. I've got, when we're running lights and sirens, I've got red vehicles, convoys of red vehicles. Doesn't matter what type, just convoys of them. It could be red car, red SUV, and red truck, whatever, driving in front of you while you're doing lights and sirens to the hospital. Just whatever they can to disturb your mind. Okay, on the way to work, it's red vehicles, some more red vehicles, right? If you're eating a particular food pattern, okay, at the house, when I was at Shoals, they made sure to throw the trash can out and all the contents in it, and then they're going to throw an avocado container, avocado dip container inside the trash can so that you see it, and it's the only thing in the trash can. And that's what you were just purchasing for the past couple of weeks at the grocery store. And that's like your new vibe, right? Your new pattern of nutrition. And so they just take the things that you're doing and they just mock you. And I can go on and on. I mean, I can go on and on and on. It's just a pain in the ass. And if you go and you show up for these people and their purpose is to just gaslight you, telling you that, oh yeah, my wife. I was actually at this guy, and every time it's always somebody with dementia, right? They always want to make sure that they're cloaking this as someone with dementia, like it's acceptable, or like they're just sundowning or something. But these people are carrying a conversation with you full blown, okay, and gaslighting you about all the things that's going on in your life, okay, and just mocking you and just doing whatever it takes. And I just don't understand how people can get away with it. That's what I'm not understanding. I don't understand how cyber stalking is allowed, even if it was for legal reasons. Even if it was for legal reasons, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because the evidence would go right back to reflecting that the way the organism and the program works is the program works to get you involved and get you to commit, and then they work off of the consequences. So it's the people moving you into the problems, and then people then abusing you and harassing you about the problems. That's how this works, right? That's how it's worked. Every single thing. That's how every single thing has worked. Every problem, okay, that has occurred in my life has been off of grooming, has been off of the past behavior to bring you to the problem. And then after the problems are there, they then want to harass you and then be spiteful over the problems that they created. And I was told it's all because I was going to win at life. They don't want me to make money. It's because I was going to win at life. Verbatim, that's what he said. So I'm that important. I'm that important. But these police officers, it seems like every time I'm driving somewhere now, and I'm barely going out, there's police officers somewhere. Somewhere in transit, somewhere they're trying to intimidate me for some reason. Okay. I don't know why. I'm so important. I really don't. You've got healthcare providers who are abusing me in the past, gaslighting me. You have them cold turkeying their therapies. I mean, the list goes on. They try to get you to jump from provider to provider by abusing you. I really don't know what to say anymore. I really don't know what to say anymore. I know that my social feeds are attacked at all times. On the 16th, I had a dream. And this is the thing about my dreams is I told you it's not the first time my dreams have been messed with. What happens is I'll dream of something, and then the very first feed on my Facebook will be relevant to what I dreamed. On Friday, May 16th, I had a dream that I was around this murky water, like this muddy, murky water, and I was on like a little cliff, and that I had to like the side of a cliff, and I was on a ledge, basically on the side of a cliff, and I had to jump in this murky water, but I didn't know if it was deep or not. I didn't know because you can't see the bottom, so I was hesitant to jump, but I knew I had to jump anyways to get across because there was no other way around. Long story short, I don't know what I decided to do, but I woke up and I opened up my Facebook feed, and my Facebook feed had one of the anglers with this type of water, around in his picture. Same type of water I was dreaming of in the same type of environment that I was dreaming of. Right. We talked about how they're using the TVs. They use the TVs. They'll use your cell phones. These women, they'll come through and they'll take trash and they'll wait for you to turn in the gym. They'll wait for you to turn somewhere that has a trash can. And when you turn, that's when they'll go and throw the trash. You turn, they'll go throw the trash. Right? Oh, you accomplished something. You did some reps. You did some heavy weight. They'll wait for you to turn, then they'll go throw the trash away. And these women, what these women will do is they'll hang around you. And they'll take a female and they'll have her follow you back and forth across different sectors of the gym, right? And back in the day, you would have maybe said something eventually to her, like something cordial. But you didn't realize what was really going on is that she was conspiring against you. Okay? Her purpose is to give you attention and then either ghost you or wait for you to turn, and then, or the other thing that they like doing is they'll have a female come in and she'll buzz around you. And she knows you're going to be there for like 45 minutes to an hour because it's a program fabricated psychosocial interaction. It's programmed. They already know what you're going to do. So she'll come hang around with you in your intimate, I wouldn't say intimate space, but in your social space for a period of about 15 and 20 minutes. Then what happens is she'll have her boyfriend show up, and they love using that. They love using that tactic. They'll take women that are talking to you on the website, okay, on one of your electronic or your online dating. There's a female that's talking to you. They'll make sure to bring a female that looks like that female into your social space and have her buzz around you. And then she'll look at you or eyeball you and then have either her boyfriend or husband show up. And then they'll work out and then leave. Okay. This is one of those tactics that they used. Okay. They'll take the people that are in your electronic profile, all the people that are talking to you, and they'll bring them a person that's physically similar somewhere around your social space. And they love to do that. That's a tactic that they love to do. They'll take someone, even a family member, and they'll have a family member, like someone that looks like my father, drive by you at an intersection, or they'll have someone that looks like my brother in his gray truck come by, and they'll have a bunch of trucks driving by. Okay? Or they'll park by you. And that's a common thing, is they got all these gray trucks parking by you. Okay? All these gray trucks, and that's because your mother was starting to disconnect you from family by using all of this bullshit animus that she could never describe or say. Okay? Never wanted to explain things or why there was separation in the family. And the whole time they started walking you away as they were making plans for you and your demise. and all the seeding and all the bullshit and all the orchestration of structure that they wanted you to waddle in and drown in. Okay, so the family started to disconnect, right? And they did this purposefully. Okay. So this is what these strangers will do. These strangers will work together, and not only will they just come around, okay, to act like someone in the family, but what they'll do is they'll make sure to stand, okay, at an angle or stand in a certain way to make you feel or be reminded of someone in your family. So even though they may not look like it at face value up front, what they'll do is they'll turn their head like this. And they'll make sure that when you're walking by, they're standing in your line of sight, but they're faced away from you at an angle. So it looks something as close as possible, okay? As close as possible. This goes back to the whole visual pollution, okay? Goes all back to the visual pollution, okay? Here's some other social tactics. So all of a sudden, they do this a lot. When you're saying something, like you're explaining something, they're going to say, "What's that? I've never heard of that." Huh? That's weird. You're weird. Okay? These are the replies that you get all of a sudden. What's that? I've never heard of that. What's that? And the nurses, the nurses love this. When you're talking to them, what's that? I've never heard of that. Oh, yeah. That's one of their favorite things. And the next favorite thing that they love to do is, huh? Huh? So you're talking and it's, huh? Like they can't hear you. And this goes right back to the program holistically. These are the interactions you're having. So when you say, huh? When you hear them say that, huh? What'd you say? And they're saying that. It's the same thing. When you go to report to the police, it's like you can almost hear when people are saying, huh, all the time. Well, we can't hear you. All right, we can't hear you. We're doing it. You're complaining. You're writing it down. And then when you go to talk to somebody, it's, huh? What? We can't hear you. They love that. And when you go into social spaces, these women will look at your crotch. These women you'll roll up to a spot, and these women will look and just stare at your crotch and then turn away. And we're talking like your private area. Okay? And they'll use this with a certain time frame when you were being removed from OBGYN, right? And they're using something like herpes, okay, to bowl you around. And they've walked you into that, right? And so then what they have is they have the whole atmosphere of women walking around staring at your private areas. And then they'll say, huh, what's that? When you talk to them or you're having a conversation or you're just asking a question, right? And they're literally predating on you, okay? Literally. They love that. Those are really big things that they love to do, okay? If you have gym attire, okay, any type of gym attire on, you better believe that if the women are looking at you, okay, and you go to any social feeds, YouTube, like any YouTube homepage, any Facebook page, anything social media page, guaranteed the day you wear that or the day that you experience any of that, guaranteed there's going to be reels, there's going to be ads, and there's going to be something about your penis size. Guaranteed. 110% guaranteed. Okay? When you realize what's going on at such a level that is so intimate and so discreet with your life that these people are toying with that. Okay? You feel like it can't be real. But then you realize it is. Because you're beat and you're hit with so many insults, with so many patterns every day, every week, every month, every year, that it can't be objectifiable. There is no mistake. There is no coincidence. It's beyond three. Okay, it's dozens of times. Okay. And then what happens is, like a light switch, they turn it off. They stop doing it, and everyone starts changing. Everyone changes, but they got what they want, so we're going to stop doing that. Now we're moving on. So it's always something. It's always something, like a light switch. When we want this from you, we're going to start doing all of these things. When we want this from you, we're going to collectively, as an organism, essentially, because we're using technology, okay, we're going to do this as a group. As a society, we're going to do this. Okay. Oh, we want to control your mental faculties in the courtroom. We're going to do all of this, a bunch of ambient abuse by proxy with other people. We're going to have the police officer harass you. We're going to wait for you to get to the end. So, I don't know, maybe your caffeine will run out, or maybe your ADHD medication will run out. And we're going to wait until it's late at night, and then we're going to have you look over the papers and sign. Oh, they love to do this. They love to keep tabs on when you take your coffee, and then they'll make you late, and then they'll go have you do the task, whatever that might be. They'll do that too. The day you don't take the day you decide not to take any nootropics to just chill you out a little bit, that's the day we're going to harass you the hardest. Okay? That's the day that we're going to show up with a bunch of people, and we're going to get in your intimate space, and we're going to have a bunch of trash all over the areas that you frequent, so that you have to walk, and it has to be in your intimate space within inches or a foot, okay, of wherever you walk. We're going to touch you. We're going to run an object into you, okay? Oh, you have an exam coming up? Great. I know what we can do a few days before that happens. We could stalk you with a bunch of white SUVs to school and back, to the gym and back. Oh, you want to let the dog out? We'll stalk you there too. Oh, you want to go check the mail? We'll stalk you there, even though you're only going to go out for 3 fucking minutes. We're going to be there. Oh, you're going to go, I don't know, load up some fishing rods and go back inside? You just want to like load some stuff up in your car? Oh, you're only outside 12 minutes? Guess what? 12 minutes out of all this daylight from sunrise to sunset, which is about 10 and a half hours, those 12 minutes, we're going to make sure to have a white SUV drive up to your house and watch you. And when you go back in, we're going to have the same person do the same thing. And these police officers are going to show up on scene and act like nothing is going on. And the whole time they got it going on. And the whole time they're looking at me, right behind me is SUVs, white SUVs. When he showed up, right behind him, white SUV, and literally 30 feet, maybe 30 feet away. The only vehicle in his lane was a white SUV. The only vehicle when he showed up was a white SUV. The only vehicle as they were walking and looking at me behind me were white SUVs. It's just whatever it takes. It's whatever it takes. Okay? These women, they will start populating around whatever things that you're doing in the gym. So if you're infatuated with lifting weights and you're considering doing certain things in the fitness industry, all of a sudden, all your social feeds are blown up to accommodate everything with what you're doing at that time. Okay. So it's an organism. It's a living, breathing organism, and they want control of you. And I just don't understand why I'm so important. I really don't. And I walked away whenever this guy told me all of these things. I walked away saying the same thing. Why the hell am I so important? Why do I have to? Why does my life have to deviate? Everybody else goes and does what they have to do, but my life has to deviate for some reason. And then the justice system wants to play into it. The justice system wants to allow it. And then the justice system, for some reason, wants to have and be aware of the removal of evidence. It's terrorism, verbatim. It's terrorism and it's war. Anyways, hour and 30. I'm gonna hop off here. The other thing too is there's people out here that would have probably committed suicide. There's people out here that would have drowned themselves in alcohol and drugs. And I'm glad that I haven't done any of those things. The other thing is, unfortunately, is when you're on these SSRIs, you're susceptible to things like lipid dysregulation. You're susceptible to some cardiotoxicity. I've already mentioned the neurological problems with these things. But it's the fact of the matter is I shouldn't have to be on these things. I shouldn't have to do these things just to accommodate a bunch of fucking terrorism. I really shouldn't have to. And what's crazy about this is some of this medication, from my understanding, is it makes you gain weight. And it's kind of interesting because if it puts you in a situation where you feel like you either gotta run harder or which really that's really all you can do is just run longer essentially. But it's just like these are the things that you have to think about when you're in a conspiracy like this is there's always a consequence for every little choice that you make. And the problem with the conspiracy is you're being forced to make those. And the last thing that I want to say about this conspiracy is it's not hard to make somebody fail. It's not hard to make somebody go into a problem. That's the thing. I think people think that, and I probably would have thought this maybe when I was a teenager, thinking of its complexity, but the reality of it is to make someone fail, you just give them one option. You just give them one option. That's it. You just give them one option. You keep them isolated and you give them one option. What I started noticing too is that my job opportunities, okay, the job opportunities that are populating, they'll keep some of those opportunities off because the opportunities that are there are the ones that they want you to look at. These are the things that they want you to look at. The reason being is because they want you to be affiliated and associated, okay, with either things in your past or things that you're getting ready to run into, okay? That's how this whole thing works when it comes to the other dimension or the other element. We talked about the romance. We talked about the inside personal quarters. We talked about outside and how they handle those psychosocial things, okay, in public space. Now we're talking about the occupational side again. And what they're doing is they're only offering you things that are available to abuse you. So the network is going to connect you or link you with something of animus or irritation of the past, or it is something there to abuse you in the future. Even when I was going to go to RT school, okay? Even when I was going to school to apply for RT, I was already critical care. I was already doing vents. I've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different vents under my belt, from LTV to Zoll to the EBV Zoll, which is on like Black Hawk helicopters, to any ventilator that any ambulance service uses, basically. Like I started messing with, and I've used some of them, right, on patients. And I was like, why not just go RT? I could do my own thing. I could be in solitary. I could do whatever, I want to do without having to really mess around or be interacting with too many people. I kind of know a little bit about it. Give me opportunity to kind of be autonomously and not have to worry about paperwork and interacting with nurses who are there to sabotage and give me a hard time and pass things along to my manhood. Like, I'm not interested. Okay. So I'm not interested anymore because I had to quit, right? When I was arrested on the 19th. Right? I had to quit one of my prerequisites. I was making an A. I made an A in the first semester. Then I was going through it with the department head, and I was making an A. I made an A on my first exam. But then I had to deal with this whole thing. So I had to quit, right? They tased me, got dementia, basically, transient form of dementia. I felt brain fog, and I had this exam the following days. I was like, that ain't happening. Long story short, I quit. I withdrew, right? And it's just like this, the way they do this occupational piece, it's like you can't just go and work at a place without them using a network to harass you later on. For example, even the RT, they wanted you to, I think one of the certifications was like TMC, and that's where I have a federal lawsuit against TMC, a truck driving organization, and other people, other organizations, I should say, and a police department. And then they want to, and it's just nonstop. And so the people that you go to school with are referring you out, okay? Because every school has either some type of formal internship, right? And those internships have been going on for years. So they're partnered with organizations, right? And affiliates. And so the only place that you're networked with is somebody or something that is a door or an avenue to irritation or animus or some type of harassment, either preceding, okay, school or when you get out of it. Every time, all the time, that is what my resume shows. I can just keep going on now, but I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to close it out. I'm just going to keep it like this. I'm going to close it out. I don't want to continue.